conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. On the air and each is calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 Coach La 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 La. If you got something on your mind, you can call in, you can hit a line. She the realest, ooh, she the realest. You can tap in, never always get a business to empower you so that you can do every and anything that you want to. Kicking it with Coach Allen, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. On the air and each is calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 Coach La 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 La.
What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling all right? Y'all feeling okay? Well, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It is another episode of Conversations with Coach La right here on your favorite station in Boston. That's right. We're the only Black-owned radio station on iHeartRadio, and that is a major accomplishment. So I'm super excited about that. Y'all know it is my birthday week. Shout out to everybody who's been giving me birthday love, but today is not my official birthday. However, I love all the early pre-game and birthday love y'all been giving me. My official birthday is actually July 10th. So I am celebrating all month, and I will be having a whole birthday tour. And I'm excited because I'll be at the City Winery on July 10th for my actual birthday for Hip Hop versus Poetry. And then you guys can come and celebrate on the beach. I am a true Cancer. I love being by bottles of water. So I will be on the beach with the Urban Heat family. We're going to Hampton Beach. We'll be there all day. It's free. You can register on Eventbrite. Come and hang out with me at the beach. So, all right, to clear everything up, because y'all said I was doing the most. My family was like, you got everybody saying happy birthday to you, and your birthday's not today. It's my birthday all month. Okay? Just get over it. It's my birthday, and I do what I want to. But tonight's conversation is a really juicy one. As I approach my 48th birthday, I've been thinking a lot about love, dating, relationships, intimacy. And you know, Coach be needing love too. Y'all know this. So I figured, why not partner up with my favorite podcast, right? The Dating Reset. Their mission is in alignment with my mission, and it's all about retraining our brain. And we all need a little bit of reframing. You know, as a therapist, I'm always telling my clients to reframe things. So how do we get back into this game if it's been a little bit and we're in our 40s, 50s, 60s? For some of y'all 20-year-olds too, y'all was dating and doing stuff when y'all was 12. No judgment, no shame. You know, some people start a little earlier than other people. And you can get a little jaded. You know, you can start to feel some type of way. So tonight we're going to talk about feeling some type of way and how do you get back out there? What are some things that you need to sort of consider and think about? So I got two of my favorite people. And I got to make sure I say this right because I got all the way checked on text, right? It's Wonder and Walter, baby. Okay. They are coming and they are going to talk to us about resetting your mind, getting your mojo back, getting your Stella got your groove back, getting your, your skip and your step. You know, you want to feel like the man again. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And then we also going to, talk about therapy and betting on yourself. You know, all that good stuff I talk about on Conversations with Coach Mark. So let me make sure I got them on the right mic. Y'all ready to meet them? I'm ready to meet them too. We're going to find out a little bit more about Wonder and Walter from the Dating Week set. What up, y'all? What's going on? Y'all got talking to the mic. And y'all got to speak up. Y'all got to speak up. Can y'all hear them? Why am I not hearing y'all? Hold on. All right, here we go. One more time. Say it again.
Hello.
Yes, louder.
What's going on?
Yes,
everybody?
there we go. We have lift off.
Yes.
Y'all know I'm the big mouth loud one.
Here
Everybody
we
can
go.
hear Coach. How y'all doing, Wonder?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm saying y'all like y'all are already like a common cell. How are you doing, Wonder? How are you doing, Walter?
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Anytime you're on this side of the dirt, it's a good time.
Oh, you ain't never lied about that. As shout out to Jonathan Gates. He said it's better to be seen than viewed. So we are talking about a couple of things tonight. You guys on your show, one of the things that you guys do is you talk about navigating the complexities of the modern romance and looking for ways to enhance your current relationship. So tell me a little bit about, what do y'all mean by that? What do y'all really get at on your show?
So one of the things that
Speak up, put the mic towards you.
the vision of dating reset is to reset the mindset. I came up with this concept of resetting the mindset when it comes to dating, is because we haven't been taught. There's a lot of podcasts and information out there regarding relationships and dating, but not specifically around dating. And dating is one of the most important steps you can make when you enter into a relationship. And our number one goal is to have our viewers date with knowledge. Now, what we have been taught in the past is not necessarily what we need to do moving forward when it comes to dating.
Mm-hmm.
Walter?
Yeah, so, like she said, I'm going to piggyback on that a little bit. We are doing this through conversation, sharing the experiences, learning from these experiences, and just getting into them. And like she said, the goal is to date with knowledge and also to date in safety. Because dating can be a very dangerous game as well. So, you don't want to forget, date in safety, and then if you have knowledge, I think that it'll also help you to avoid relationship issues, So
we're talking about red flags.
Talking about red flags. Yes, absolutely. Red flags. So if you know how and what you're looking for, you can say like, okay, this is not it. And then you can just call it quits and go on your way. And, instead of just wandering, into a relationship and like, how did I get here? What happened? Now they're living in my home. What happened? How did we get here?
So you think people are just absentmindedly sort of finding themselves in this? Or do you think people are a lot more intentional? It's just not turning out the way that they maybe expected.
What I've found is that when we talk to individuals about dating, they correlate relationship. They don't separate the two. And I believe dating and relationships are related, but they're different. And people don't separate the two. Sometimes in dating, people have, friends with benefits. They have situationships, and that is fine. But I don't think it's discussed during the dating phase. So you end up, as Walter mentioned, how did I get here? How did I get into this situation? Because they're not conversations. We don't have these type of conversations when we're meeting the individual.
All right. I got some, we're going to play a little trivia. Y'all ready for a little trivia? Y'all going to tell me whether or not this is a situationship or a relationship. Okay. We text, but I don't know when we're actually going on our next date, or if or when we're going to see each other again. Is that a relationship or a situationship?
Situationship.
That's a bad situationship.
All right. So great. So I was thinking about this. So when we think about situationships and we think about dating, because dating is supposed to be somewhat casual, I guess the expectations are not the standards. The expectations would be different. So if I'm dating you, wouldn't you not know when the next time you want necessarily see me?
Dating, I don't really think, you have a right to a certain level of expectations, but there's no commitments.
Yes.
In dating, and that's the thing.
So what changes it from being dating versus situationship?
So if we can back up for a moment, there's different types of dating. And the thing is, you have to be clear on what your type. You have to be clear on your type. There's casual dating where there's individuals who date multiple people.
Okay.
There's situationship dating, and people need to be clear. This is just friends with benefits type of dating. And then there's long-term dating where people date for long terms, which could also be considered courting in that relationship. So you have to determine what type of dating.
Wow, this sounds complicated, y'all.
You know what? it has, people have just broken it down, taken, you know, the original concepts,
Yeah,
tore them all the pieces,
it then got real complicated,
and then made them fit their narrative,
Yes.
you know,
okay,
for their
all
own
right.
purposes. And then they're like, well, you know, that's not quite what it is. Well, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, everyone wants that little bit of wiggle room, you know, in dating and going into relationships. You know, it's just like dodgeball.
Which is fine. You just have to be aware. The knowledge is that we are letting you know that there's different types of dating.
All right. Okay. All right. So I think we got people warmed up. We got stuff in the chat and then put y'all on the hot seat for a little bit. We're going to take a little step back, and I want to ask you, tell me a little bit more about who is Wonder. We're going to start with Wonder first. So I know you told me you do the dating reset and see you're a beautiful woman, but tell me just a little bit more. What is something that people would be surprised to know about you that brought you into doing this type of work, talking about dating, resetting, and podcasting and all this good stuff?
Well,
and make sure you bring the mic. You can actually move it so that you're speaking into it, because I want people to hear everything you're saying.
Well, I would like to share that I have been married for 18 years.
Ooh.
I have been, and I'm still married. And we have been separated for 4 years. So there has been no type of relationship there. It's been estranged.
Yes.
So I'm at the crossroads in my life. And when I have these conversations with my girlfriends and my friends, they're telling me, Wonder, just, you need to move on.
Right.
You know, you need to start dating. But I felt as though I can't start a new chapter in my life until I close the old chapter in my life.
And then it's like, what does that look like? What does closure look like?
Right.
Does that mean just being transparent with the person that you potentially may want to date?
Mm-hmm.
Or all these different types of dating styles we just talked about? Somebody might be cool with you still being married and be all right with dating you.
Yes.
And have no problem with it.
Yes. So I've had conversations with potentials.
I love it.
About that, you know.
That was getting juicy, y'all. Conversations with coaches fired up now. Okay, all right. So I appreciate your transparency. Chris said the same thing. He loves the transparency. Good evening to Sandra, Mina Shea Style Journey. Thank y'all for checking in. Make sure y'all share the link. Tag a few people. We also want you to stay to the end. We got a special discount code for our upcoming event, which we're going to be doing some speed dating, which is something Boston hasn't seen before. We're super excited about this collaboration. So we're going to get together. We're going to help y'all discover some things about yourself. Maybe you won't find a love connection, but you sure enough might find out what you like and what you don't like. We can guarantee that. We can do that. So Walter, what about you? Tell me a little bit about who is Walter and how did you happen to end up doing a podcast about dating?
Well, I was married. I was married for 17 years, been divorced probably about another 20 years now at this point.
Talking to the mic.
Just an ordinary kind of person. You know, I've had my share of relationships, failed, dating and everything else. I have my own journey with trying to figure it all out, you know. After the marriage went bad and got divorced, you know, I dated and it was just miserable dates.
So so do you think that there's pee in the dating water?
See that, you know, I've heard that from people before, and I really don't like that term, right? Because I'm probably the perpetrator here.
I love it. Tell the truth.
He's a urine.
You peed in the dating water and messed it up for everybody.
Man, I took a yes, that and then some. Yes, I did. But I would like to say that I don't know if I did it knowingly or unknowingly, but I did it.
It's
now
okay.
that I look back at it, I
so
can
it's
say,
like going in the ocean and then all of a sudden
toxic. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, you're hurt, and you have that little time pass, and then you figure, okay, I'm ready to get out the date. And you know, one of the things that, you know, I listen to music and things like that, and I, you know, Return of the Mac was like my theme song when I got ready to go out. You know, I play that in the house, and then I go out, and you know, but there was still a lot of anger, a lot of other unresolved issues that when I got into a relationship, man, it just washed all over them.
Yeah.
You know, and
so it sounds like consensus is this idea of dating, I think, especially when we start thinking about being over 40. So I'll be at 48. And it's a different ball game now. I'm way wiser.
Yes.
Got a lot more insight on what I like, what I don't like. I think my patience is a little bit shorter. When I was younger, I think it was just a lot easier. I like you, you like me. Put the little boxes, yes, no, maybe. And it was, now I got a boyfriend. It is not that simple nowadays. I don't think it's just happening like that. And you know what you like. And, I'm a sexual being. A lot of people are. And, you know what sex is now. So it's like a lot of us know how to navigate without getting completely attached. But I had came across a clip, and the guy said in the clip, which I show it on my page, we're human beings. And one of the biggest problems that we have is that we're trying to act like we're not going to get attached. We're not going to catch feelings. And it's a natural thing for that to happen. And if you are taking your clothes off, you should be able to say, I'm starting to like you a lot more than I had expected. Where are you at with all of this? And making a pivot. And the pivot may be, we don't have to say it's a situationship. We don't have to be angry. It's just being two grown adults who have emotional maturity to say, I saw you. I was sexually attracted to you. I'm getting to know you now. You got a lot you bring to the table. And I'm actually really digging you a lot more than I had anticipated. What about you? Why is it that you think that's so difficult for people to do?
Rejection.
People have been burnt in past relationships, and nobody wants to give up too much without something in return,
But you're already smashing. You're already doing that. You're already spending time. So doesn't that say a lot when we can't have a deep conversation with someone, but we can do all of the other little nasty things that folks like doing behind closed doors, but I can't say I like you?
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And it goes back to transparency and communication. It's important to have these conversations. We haven't been taught to do that in the past. And that's part of our goal with the reset. We have to reset the mindset that it's okay to have these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
People are open to these conversations. We just don't have them.
Mm-hmm. So you think about, there's a lot of things we're not taught though. And I know we use that a lot. And as a therapist, I get it too. I get that we weren't taught a lot of things, but when you're 40 plus, you didn't learn some stuff along the way. So if you're still struggling to say, yo, that sex was bomb, you're bad. You got a lot of the qualities that I like. I know originally I thought maybe this was just going to be a sexual thing, but I really would like to date you exclusively and see where this goes. The other person only can do one or two things.
Right.
Listen, I don't really want to go there with you. I still want to be out here and I'm for the streets. But at least now everything is on the table and you don't have to be in the unknown in a place of confusion.
See, I think most of the confusion comes in when you're smashing and you didn't have the conversation before you smashed. So I think when you're dating, and you're thinking about becoming intimate, that's a conversation you need to have with that person.
Absolutely.
Before you're intimate with that person.
Okay.
Oftentimes you get caught in the moment and you get wrapped up in, your drawers are wet and panties are.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna push back on that respectfully. So let's say we are dating, because this is what we're talking about. I know you're dating. You approach me. We're talking. We know what it is, right? We know we're dating. We're dating casually. We both said we're not really looking for a relationship. This happens.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Then you get close to whatever and you go, I really want to. We're both adults. We can do this because we're adults.
You can do
right?
That.
And honestly, you don't know what you're getting into until you get into it. And you get into it, and it's some of the best sex you ever had in your life. You don't know that until you have the sex.
But honestly, that conversation, let's be real about it. That conversation does not happen before you get intimate.
No wonder. I gotta push back respectfully.
9 out of 10 times, it just happens. No one has that conversation. It happens. You get caught up in the moment and it happens. No one has that conversation. And then you're caught up in your feelings afterwards because he blew your back out. And now you in your feelings, and now you wondering where we're going after you've been intimate and sexual with this person.
So I'm about to go clinical on you. First of all, we're using absolutes. We're using never and always. That's a generalization. I'm sure a lot of people do have these conversations. I don't think that it's never happening. I think a lot of people have the conversations, but just because you have it doesn't mean there's a comprehension on the other side.
Oh, I think let's agree to disagree on that
Of
one.
course. But I know that it's not a never.
No, I won't say never. I
But-
won't say
but you
never.
did,
We can never say. This is what happens. Like when we have these conversations, people always deflect and say, not all men, not all women. That's common sense. We know not all men and not all women
we
do
don't.
that.
That's an assumption. And because we're on my
can't say
show,
all men.
because we're on
and
my
all
show, I
women.
always clarify
Mhm.
because I'm the therapist here. We clarify generalizations and we clarify absolutes because we got people listening, right? And so they're going to take what we're saying, especially if we're coming from a place of expertise when we use generalizations. So I just want to put that on the table, that I'm sure that some of the listeners might be having these conversations and maybe they're not going well for them. So we don't want to leave them out.
I agree. And I say if they are having the conversation, it's a small amount. It's a very small
Well, we don't
amount.
have the statistics on it. So we're going to move right along.
Yeah,
I got another
move on.
I got another trivia question. Y'all going to tell me whether or not this is a situationship or a relationship. I'm playing it cool because they're playing it cool. I have no clue how they feel, but it seems like they like me sometimes.
I wouldn't even really call that a situationship. I mean, in a broad term, yes, but right now, nothing's really happening. It's just kind of like games, you know. Does he? Does she? What's going on? You know, I wouldn't even call this. I don't even know what you want to really call that. Just other than this is just some games being played here. You know, if you
but is that dating?
Is that dating?
Is this potentially?
No. I'm going to say no. I'm on that. I'm going to say no. Potentially, it can go to dating, but I'm going to say no on that particular scenario. I'm going to say
so.
No.
Maybe just flirting. This is like that first stage of possibly an interest.
I would say it's part of the vetting process. I think vetting is different from dating. So I think it's part of vetting, and that's where you screen. You're screening.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. All right. So when we think about dating over 40, what do you think some of the unique challenges you think that people may have? Because it seems like as we age, the dating game really does change. What do you guys think of some of the things that might be unique for all the 40 and overs, which according to my statistics, I have a lot of people that are over 40 listening to my show.
Oh, absolutely. It's very different. It's different at 50. It's different at 60. Different needs, different ideas, things that we've experienced, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. You know, it shapes what we're looking at. What our financial situation is. We take all these things into account. Kids, grown kids, everything. So it all changes based on what our own situations are. It all changes.
Do you think that the dating pool is limited once you get over 40?
Limited for what purpose? I mean, you can date with anybody. I mean, there's a lot of single people. You know, but you know, is it limited to it going elsewhere? You know,
well, according to some of my research, a lot of people over 40 find that the dating pool is smaller, as many partners may already be in committed relationships or have different life priorities.
I mean, at 40, I didn't have a problem finding dates. Didn't have a problem.
Do you think that's because of your gender?
No, because I was dating females. So
yeah, but do you think because you're a man, you didn't find it challenging because you can date younger?
We all can.
Well,
we all can.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
it's open up. It's open. That's why. What's the term they say? Cougars.
Well, I think what they're talking about here is that they were looking at people dating within their age range. So if you're over 40, you're dating people over 40. But typically, if that's happening, the pool is smaller. But if you go younger, maybe the pool would increase. That's kind of what I thought when I read it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're only talking about the age of 40, but once you expand it, there's more options.
Yeah.
I think there are even at 40. I think there are far more options than not.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Well, we about to find out because we got this speed dating thing. So we want all y'all single people to start signing up to be a part of it. So we want to test this theory. So since there's all these single people out here, where you at? Where are you at? And let's get y'all to meet.
That's
okay.
Right.
So the other thing that came out was busy schedule. So, you know, you guys had on your show, the dating reset, you were talking about online dating. And I know one of the reasons a lot of people do online dating is because their schedules are so busy. So that's also one of the factors. And, you know, with online dating, the safety and just options and not knowing who's real, who's fake, it can be very overwhelming. What do you guys think about that?
All of that's true. But one of the biggest things about online dating is it opens you up beyond your community. It takes you across the country, across the globe even, you know, so it opens up. And then for people who are shy, really don't have really good social skills, it's a way for them to connect to other people because they can hide behind, you know, their online profile and have a conversation and you know, work it out that way.
I don't know if I like that word hide behind their online
Listen,
profile. Because, and I'm shy because I think when we talk about bringing up what Wanda said earlier, the conversation is not being had.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. If you're just not comfortable and you don't have a certain level of confidence, certain topics are just going to feel awkward to sort of have. Like, you know, well, you know, where are we going with this? Well, I don't know. Like, I don't want to ruin the moment. You know, everything was, you know, hot and it was, you know, steamy. I didn't want to say, well, wait, we didn't talk about what we're going to do after we have sex. So I can see how it happens as well. But this is why we want to have, you know, podcasts like yours. And also, you know, these environments where people can sort of meet, greet, and talk about these difficult topics, and let's normalize it. That it's okay to talk about what it is you want and what it is that you would like to have happen in the beginning before emotions and feelings and sex gets involved. What you think, Wanda?
And that's the purpose of what we're doing. You know, we're trying to give you knowledge so that you can, you know, do this as you're dating. You know, you can date with some knowledge and be like, okay, you know, we need to have this. Here's something we can do. It's not saying it's the rule, but it's, you know, something that we can use. I mean,
and I think what it does is it sets you up for more success.
Absolutely.
And I think less disappointment and less thinking that there's pee in the water when you actually are thinking more intentionally about what am I getting out of this? And I always talk about metrics with my clients. Have more than one way to measure your success, be that work, be that a relationship, be that a marriage, whatever it is, right? Don't be so narrow that the only success is whether or not you get to the point of a committed relationship. You might meet some really dope people and get some really great friendships and make some great connections from business to just friendships, just life. You know, that could be very valuable in your journey. Everything doesn't have to turn into a relationship. And some people, the idea that they're dating with intention, I think stops them from meeting some really good people and just making great connections because, well, you don't want to date me exclusively, so I don't even want to have anything else to do with you. And next. And I might not be there yet, but that doesn't mean I'm not a good person, that we can't have some really great dates or have some fun things versus you just sort of being in your silo and being miserable. Because I really think a lot of people need companionship and they're lonely, but because they're so fixated that I got to date for a commitment or I got to date to get married, they're not even enjoying life and just enjoying potential connections. And it doesn't have to be sexual.
Right. So I think it starts with self-awareness and self-reflection. You know, you have to be self-aware of your emotions, your needs, your wants. You have to figure that out within yourself before you can start dating. You know, a lot of people are not self-aware. They're not. They're out there just going with the flow. And a lot of people are looking for others to fill a void within themselves. And that's part of the problem as well. So I think we need to be self-aware of our emotions, our intentions, our feelings, and then self-reflect, which is the process of moving forward in self-improvement. So I think we need to do those things before we even think about dating.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. Once again, you guys are tuned into Conversations with Coach La. I got two of my favorite people in the building, Miss Wonder and Mr. Walter from the Dating Reset podcast. So you guys can actually follow them at the dating_reset. When does your podcast come on? Thursdays, right?
Bi-weekly on
Thursdays
at 8 p.m.
Awesome. Thank you for giving us thumbs up. We like that. Please share the link, get people to come on in the room. This is a hot topic. Summertime, people are outside. You're feeling fine. You're putting on them summer dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are looking good. The men are hollering. Your toes is out. You got the white toenail polish on. You're feeling real good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So just know they coming.
Yes.
Since you feeling good, you smelling good. Guys are feeling good. They didn't went and condition their beards. So guess what? We know y'all gonna be meeting up. Summer flings are real. And a lot of good stuff happen in the summertime. So that's why we wanted to talk about this, because I know I'm feeling it. Y'all see me? I'm feeling good. Y'all see this? Y'all see me? I'm popping. Right? Summertime is when I get all juicy, y'all. This is my season.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm talking good stuff. Y'all know I'm talking that talk. So we want to talk about some of the things that you need to reflect on. And we talked about therapy. We talk about therapy on the show all the time. But tonight we wanted to take a little bit of a different spin on it and think about how therapy has helped each one of you get to where you are. Because you are two people that I would say are very self-aware, and you're very comfortable in your skin. And a lot of people want to get there. A lot of people want to feel the way you guys feel. How did therapy play into you getting to where you are? And do you think it's useful to people to do that before they date?
I think it is useful, because oftentimes what happens is people bring baggage from their old relationships into new relationships, even while they're dating. Because of their experiences, they move forward a certain way because of their past experiences. I think it's extremely important to seek therapy, which is a neutral person. Your friends are going to be sometimes one-sided when you have these conversations with them.
Yes.
It's important that you have someone neutral, a professional that can help guide you. You already have the answers within yourself, and the therapist can help you, give you the tools to move forward and navigate this thing called love.
You saying all of the right things over there. I think the first thing is asking you some really key questions, which we talked about. Like, one of the ones that I pulled from your bio was, are you navigating the complexities of modern romance? And are you looking for ways to enhance your current relationship? And I think that current relationship really starts with, what's the relationship you have with yourself? Right. And I think therapy helps you really develop a good relationship with self, which brings up the self-awareness, the insight, and the confidence. What about you, Walter? I know offline you said that therapy had played a big role in where you are. Make sure y'all pull that mic. I want people to make sure they can hear you.
Absolutely. Therapy, like I said, I was married 17 years, got divorced, started dating, and it just having no success. So I was like, what is going on? I asked a lot of questions, and I really was against therapy initially, throughout my marriage and through everything else. I just thought therapy was just a waste. And then I was just maybe at rock bottom. I said, let me just give it a try and find out what's going on. And, there's a lot of things that I learned about myself. What's my mindset about dating? At one point I was emotionally unavailable, but physically available.
Okay.
I was dating with a lot of anger, and, I was like, it's my way or the highway kind of attitude, and it wasn't servicing me.
Yes.
I was just creating bad relationships and then giving people bad feeling, about maybe their next relationship. So it was just bad, but it helped me to understand, why I was. I had all the ideas as to why, but the cost.
Yeah.
What was the cost of this behavior?
Right.
I didn't see the cost, initially, but the full depth of that cost, I was like, wow. And one of the things that he taught me that I got out of this was perception. How am I looking at this? I can look at it negatively. I can look at it positively. So I try to look at lessons and situations with a positive spin, as opposed to, oh man, this was just bad, and, take it out, try to learn from it. And, that was therapy. That was all therapy, and it's helped me to move forward.
It's so interesting because I think often, and Wendy, you said this, we're not talking about these things and we're not taught these things. So sometimes you don't even know to pause. I don't know how many people have heard this is the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. The best way to move forward is to go and date or have multiple women. So, to be able so that you're not so caught up on one, have a couple. So I think a lot of things that we've been taught to do create the toxicity and not being AKA healed or not knowing how to process emotions when that relationship ends. We're mad and we don't always take accountability for the role we play or just when the compatibility shifts, because sometimes we're just not compatible with people anymore and it's no one's fault.
You're spot on with that. I self-awareness is really key. When you're dating these individuals and you keep getting the same outcome, at some point you have to look in the mirror at yourself. Like, I'm doing this and I'm still getting the same outcome. Like, I need to really figure out what's going on. And one of the ways you can do that is by seeking therapy. They can help you figure out why you keep getting the same outcomes. It's insanity. When you keep on doing the same thing over and over and you still get the same outcome, something's off.
Yeah. Y'all are dropping bars.
One thing I want to say about therapy is this, and you can get the wrong therapist.
That is true.
You can get the wrong therapist and you'll be like, forget it. I've gone through several therapists, to get to the one that worked with me, that I was able to grow with. So just because you get a bad therapist or someone that you feel like this is not my therapist, don't throw the whole experience away and say, I'm done.
Right.
Seek another one.
Right.
It will happen for you.
Right.
I think don't give up too quick.
And I think, again, even with therapists, it's not cookie cutter. Right. And one therapist style will work for somebody and then it won't work for someone else.
Right.
And it might not have been the right timing for that type of therapist. I've noticed I have more of a direct, they call me a nurturing beast, but I also am a person that, okay, we've been here for a long time. Let's start moving forward. So I do a lot of more solution focused therapy. And for some people, they just want to talk and vent. They don't really want to fix anything.
Right.
And so if you really are not ready to move forward, then I might not be the right therapist for you because you might want to sit in a little bit too long. Or I may push you when you're not ready to be pushed because I'll take a risk and that can feel uncomfortable. So I think everybody adds to your journey and there's a purpose for everyone. I also realized that sometimes that therapist did what they were supposed to do to move you to the next therapist.
For me, the solution was in the work. That's where my solutions were, through conversating, being honest and doing the work, and that's where I got my solutions from. I mean, I can go to a friend, I can go to a priest, and you're going to get that type of advice, so that's not where you want to go and think, well, I'm talking to my best friend. That's a mistake.
And I think the key is you got to do the work.
You got to do the work.
And I think therapists that give you homework, give you assignments, give you things to go reflect on, that is going to move you forward. But it also shows your level of commitment to change. And if you're familiar with the stages of change, sometimes people are not ready yet. They're just not. They're just contemplating it. They're in pre-contemplation where they're thinking it's a good idea that I need to do this. I'm not quite ready to do anything about it. I just want to talk about it and vent about it, but I don't really want to do anything just yet. So you guys already touched on baggage from past relationships. The other thing is different priorities. So sometimes when you're over 40, you've already been married, you already had kids, you're not looking for commitment. You've already been there, done that. You just want to have fun and be casual.
Which is fine. I mean, but I think it's important to be transparent about that. When you're meeting people, it's important to be transparent about your needs and wants and your expectations and boundaries. Once you disclose that to the person, it's up to them to decide whether they're on board with it, if it aligns with what they're looking for, and then go from there.
Absolutely. So we talked about wanting to put out some questions, some self-reflection questions. And I had 3 of them that I had found and thought were really good ones. I would like to put those out there to the audience. Once again, you guys are listening to Conversations with Coach Law live on the Urban Heat 98.1 FM. We are Boston's only Black-owned radio station on iHeartRadio. And so we are talking about relationships. We're talking about things you need to think about and self-reflect about before you start to date. If you are in that crux of like, oh, I don't know, maybe I want to start dating again, I'm not sure. So one of the questions that I had was, do I have the capacity to prioritize another person? Where are you in terms of fitting someone into your life? Because I think when a lot of clashes come in at when dating happens, it's not so much that the two people are not vibing or not even that they may not want more, but the other person didn't really think about, if this were to work out, where am I going to fit you in?
Yes, so that is part of the question. When you're starting to think about dating, that's where you need to ask yourself, do I have the capacity to entertain an additional person in my life? Because you have work life, you have your kids, you have your family, you have your hobbies, you have different businesses on the side. So part of that process and thinking about dating is you have to ask yourself, do I have the capacity to be in a relationship with someone?
So we just switched it to relationship versus dating.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have all of that going on and I want to date, and do I need to prioritize someone else just to date? And I would say, yeah, I'll make some space. I know I can go on a date on a Friday, or I have Saturday open. I have Sunday open to go hang out. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm ready to do that all the time, every week, even every 2 weeks. I'm okay with going out here and there and dating. And so I think it's different. I think, and that's part of it, right? So we're dating and we're out here, but what's the ultimate goal when you start dating? And I think that gets confusing for people.
Well, I think it circles back to the dating type. You have to figure out what type of dating you want to be committed to.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be a casual dater? Do you want a situationship? Do you want a friends with benefits? That will determine your capacity of how much you want to entertain this dating journey.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
What you think? I had a woman once told me she's a serial dater. That's it. That's her only interest. But it was a conversation we had up front, and she told me that. She was, I'm a serial dater. And come to find out, she dated 3 of my friends, that she met online.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, really?
Yes. Yeah.
And she was, she's an older woman. She was an older woman, and she knew exactly how and what she wanted. She's like, I'm a grown woman. I'll do what I want to do. If I want to do A, B, C, or D on my dates, she says, I'll do that. And I don't have a problem with it. And I was like, wow, okay.
Right.
That's good.
And
That's
as
cool.
I mentioned before, it's important to determine what's your dating style.
Yeah. She goes,
totally with everything you guys are saying. And then I'm going to throw in there, and then things change. And then when you get into something and you meet someone and they have qualities and different things, or they spark, because different people bring different things out of folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And now where you was just casually dating and that's all you wanted to do, and you meet this great person and you were on the same page initially, and something changes. Maybe it's one day they show up to do something for you, and they show up for you in a way that no one ever showed up for you before. Maybe they're just consistent, right? And you start to see them differently, and you start to think about, wow, this is somebody that I would
absolutely
create more space in my life for.
Mm-hmm.
And you decide, in your head, you start thinking this. It's scary to say, I know we agreed to this, but I'm feeling this way.
That's new conversation.
And what happens for a lot of people is they then feel like you're changing the rules. You're changing what this is. And I think that we have to be open that in life, things happen.
Yes.
And you don't always know until you know.
Right.
And I think there has to be some space for that. And I think some people are so caught to that isn't what I'm doing, or they're afraid, or they're scared. And this is but where's the space to have these conversations without getting angry?
So, as you know, as you mentioned earlier, we're adults here.
We should be.
We are not teenagers. So when you start to feel these things, and if he's doing something different from the casual dating, as you mentioned, he's being consistent. Maybe he has, helped you out on a project. He changed the dynamics of that relationship a little bit as well. So it's kind of, you can have that conversation at that point. If he's doing something out of the ordinary that he has never done before, it changes the dynamics in the relationship. Whether you want to believe it or not, it does.
So,
but hold on a second. I kind of had this kind of conversation this morning with a person, and I was like, why do you want to do for one person, right? They tick off all the boxes and everything else, and you're dealing with someone else who's not ticking off, but you want to do more for this individual. And I asked the question. I said, is this some sort of frequency vibing thing that they just bring this out in you unconsciously? That it's like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you just find yourself doing it unconsciously, and then you like wake up like, wow, this. It happens. It just kind of happens.
Like, you don't just wake up. Like, let's keep it 100 here. Like, you don't you see it coming. This is the part where people start getting delusional. Honestly, this is the part where people start getting delusional with the feelings versus the facts. And I'm a facts over feelings type of person. And what happens is people get caught up in the emotion, and they think that it's supposed to change the facts of the situation. The fact is, the person told you he was a casual dater. Just because you caught feelings, that's a you thing. That's a you thing.
I think that we got that. We're talking about, when do you have this adult conversation?
When you caught feelings,
changed, right?
When you caught feelings.
When you do, what I want to go back to is, if the person does something for you, or is there for you, or shows up for you, that they change the dynamics. And I'm saying, my opinion, if I'm a good person, because we talked about meeting good people,
right,
and you're in a bind, and we've been hanging out, and I like you, right, and I'm sleeping with you, there's nothing wrong with me helping you out or being a good person to you. And because I do that, you start to see my qualities. I'm showing up. I'm consistent. I'm a person of my word. I got good characteristics that make you get more feelings for me. You're just human. It's not anybody trying to do anything that or change the dynamics. This person's just showing up being who they are.
Yes, but if you're the one who's catching the feelings and you are changing the dynamics of the casual dating, it's up to you. The onus is up on you. It's your responsibility to have that dialogue with the casual dater.
But now we're not talking about whether or not we have it. It's about feelings. And when we start to feel things, that's not something that you're planning for.
Right. But it's important to have the conversation. That's where we're at. It's important to have the conversation with the person.
Yeah, we all agree that you got to have the conversation. We were saying the feelings, though, and the person helping someone, that was changing the dynamics of the relationship. That's what I thought I heard, is that they change the dynamics by showing up and doing things for you if it's supposed to just be casual.
Right. And for me, I've had relationships where, I wanted a casual.
Right.
But, they're good people. There's value to them. I don't want to necessarily lose them in my life, and maybe we can't do this. We can't have a relationship, but we can be super friends.
But how are you saying maybe we can't? Are you having the conversation? That's what we're skipping over. You all are talking about having these feelings and everything, but is the conversation being had?
So the conversation was had. It's a casual dating relationship. Let's all get on the same page real quick. It's casual dating relationship. We're not saying we're in a relationship. We both agree we're just dating. Something happens. Maybe there's a crisis there, or there is an emergency, right? I'm in a car accident, and the person shows up at the hospital and decides to help me out, make sure I get my car done, and I do all of these things. They just show up and they're being a good person. And I start to develop feelings because they're consistently showing up for me. That's my love language, right? And you say, guess what? I'm starting to get other feelings for you. This was casual.
but I have never met anyone like you, and I'm feeling differently. We're all agreeing that that is the conversation.
Okay,
Right.
so
The
that's the part
that
that's
is the-
clear right now.
right,
It
so-
wasn't. It wasn't
So that
really
is
clear
that
before.
is the conversation. But what we were saying is that happened because the other person changed the dynamic. And what I was saying is, you showing up and being a good person to someone is just being a good person. That didn't mean that I was trying to not be casually dating you anymore. It's just, hey, you were in a bind, you were in a pinch, I helped you out. We're sleeping together, we're hanging out. I'm not going to be like, whoa, if I do that, that's going to make me feel like I'm a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So I will not do that. That's my boundary. And maybe it is for some people, most people, but I know most people, if we're cool and you go, hey, I'm on the side of the road with a flat tire, can you help me out? Most people are not going to be like, yeah, that's a boyfriend thing to do. Or, nah, I can't help you out. I'm not sending AAA to help you. Most people going to help each other out if they care and they're good people. That's just a good person thing. If they're consistently doing this, though, while you're casually dating, you developing feelings is you being human.
Correct.
That's a human thing that can happen. It's not
Agreed.
necessarily that you were trying to catch
Right.
feelings or that you're trying to change the dynamics. As soon as you start feeling that, you either can have the conversation, or what some people will do is that they'll start ghosting.
Yes.
They'll stop being around as much.
Yes.
And they'll have no conversation. You're like, yo, what's good? I ain't heard from you in a while. Oh, I just been busy. And they switch up altogether because they didn't like how they were feeling.
They're trying to protect themselves.
And so now, like you just said, facts over feelings. This is a casual relationship. I'm not supposed to feel these feelings. So I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to get my distance and recalibrate because you trouble and I ain't trying to get hurt instead of having the conversation.
Yes. Yes. That's what happens. They start to ghost because they're not on the same page as you emotionally.
Or they're just scared of rejection and they're protecting themselves.
And that's when the person should really seek therapy.
Okay, we got a good one. Chris says, cash up a lady $30 for lunch every other day. Best believe you're in a relationship now. That's a good one, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. I hope y'all are enjoying this conversation on Conversations with Coach Lau. This is getting juicy. I love it when it gets hot up in here on the virtual couch. What you thinking about, Walter? I see the facial expression. What you want to say?
Dating is I date and things like that, and I think I am a good person, and I'm thinking about this, and in my dating history, people are like, wow, you're such a great guy, this, that, and everything else, and I'm just like, yeah, but I'm not available for a relationship.
Yes, and this is what happens.
But we can be friends. If we can't do this no more, let's just be friends. And,
and they can't. And some people will just tell you, I can't be your friend. Right. And what I think I was saying earlier is that when that occurs, sometimes you miss out on having a good person in your life that would show up for you if your car is broken down or do nice things for you, because those things feel good. And those things will make a lot of people, depending on your love language, get more attached, more sometimes than sex. Right. Like you showing up and doing all of that stuff.
But they show up again.
They'll
show up again.
But that will stimulate some people more and make you be emotionally attached more than the sex. And so I think when you don't have, you haven't experienced someone be there for you, and that's for men or women, and be there consistently and be a good person, that's attractive.
Yes, it's very attractive.
It's very attractive. You can't say that you just can shut that off. You're gonna be like, dang, he fine, and he girl, that's my husband. That's what they start. Now you say keep it 100. You start thinking things like that. Yeah. And I think as a woman, if a man has said, I don't want that, you now have to protect yourself and listen to him, which means that may mean I can't spend as much time with you. Or now I got to tell you this, and now you have a choice. Let me walk away, or does the dynamics in the relationship change? Because you can't keep showing up for me like this, giving me the good smack down, and then talk about you don't want to be mine and vice versa. Like, yeah, bro, you ain't gonna be doing this to me. I got to leave you alone before I get all the way messed up. Yeah. All right, but we have like literally, oh my God, 7 minutes, right? And we got to tell people about the event. And I hope you guys are enjoying this, because if you're liking this conversation, you're gonna love Poke Therapy 13. Because, baby, we're going to be doing this with a poetic twist. The poets are coming in. They're going to be talking about love and relationships, real saucy, real racy, real grown, sexy adult language. It's going to get nasty at Poet Therapy 13. But then we're hosting our very first speed dating, which I don't want Wonder to give all of the secret sauce away, but it's going to have a twist to it too. So you guys want to sign up for it. And guess what I did?
What did you do?
All you got to do is stay listening. Don't go nowhere. Tag some people, share the live. But right now, the tickets are $13.
Wow.
In honor of Poet Therapy 13, you can get your ticket right now for $13. Right?
Yes.
So we want to share this live, get as many people as you can think about who are single to sign up. This is really no pressure. If you've enjoyed this conversation, it's going to be similar conversations, great conversations, cocktails.
We need the
fun
guys.
people.
We
There's
need
gonna
the guys
we need
to
the
come
guys
out.
to
We
come
need
out.
the guys to come
And
out.
if nothing else, people, you'll meet some good people, have a good time,
Absolutely.
have some
Absolutely.
adult banter, which you all need is a good adult conversation. And I'm actually challenging everybody who's on an online dating app. I'm looking into the camera. You at home, swiping left, swiping right, whatever y'all do. Come outside.
Yes.
Sign up. If you're on online dating, $13. Every single person on an app right now should be signing up to come to Poet Therapy. Some poetry, have a cocktail, eat some chicken, eat some fries, meet me, take some pictures, meet Wonder, meet Walter. It's going to be fun. What you got to lose? Nothing. So come
Not
on.
a thing.
Listen, in the summertime, come outside. Get from behind that computer, girl. Get
Yes.
behind that computer, boy.
Yes.
Man,
If you're
with
looking
your
for
sexy
something to
self.
do, if you're looking for something different, you know,
Mhm.
Poet Therapy brings a different vibe to Slades. I've attended the last two Poet Therapies, and I tell you, it's a different vibe, a different atmosphere up in that place. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for something different to do, you know,
She ain't
hearing
lying.
that those rhymes, those rhythms, those poems, and get you in that mood,
Mhm.
July 26th is the place to be because
need
we're
to
adding
be
the twist
there.
with the
Which-
speed dating.
Yeah, put yourself
there.
out there because that's the only way you're going to know
Be there.
yourself.
Be there.
You know, be there.
Stop being scared, y'all. Some of y'all got outfits in y'all closet. Y'all been trying to find something you want to be cute. I need y'all to show up and show out and be in a line around Slades.
Yes.
Y'all need to come outside and enjoy yourself. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I swear it will be.
Yeah.
Y'all can go check out the videos. It's always a good time.
Yes.
Always
Grown
a
and
good
sexy.
time.
Grown and sexy.
Grown,
vibe.
sexy.
Grown
I'm looking for
sexy.
all the men with the salt and pepper beards. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? All the young ladies that's looking for I don't even want to say sugar daddy. That's such a stereotype. But
Yeah,
you looking for
splendid daddy.
a silver fox, baby.
that's
A
it.
mature gentleman that knows what he's talking about. Come on outside.
Yes.
Come on outside, lady. Put them summer dresses on and them sandals and go get them white toenail polish. You know what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Put on your smell goods. Come on outside. Come outside. All right. What else y'all want to say about the event?
I think it's going to be great. You got a lot of guys out there going to different parties and like that. Do something different. Experience some change. You know, put yourself out. You know, don't be afraid. You know, see what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, it's exciting. You know, it is exciting. It really is.
Learn how to have a conversation again.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember, shout out to my dad, miss him dearly. He said online dating and social media has taken away a brother having to walk up to a lady and have some game.
Absolutely.
Where the brothers with some lines at? That's what I want to know. Where the brothers that still got some game? Come show me what you got. I'll buy you a drink if you got a good line for me. I'll buy you a
Well,
drink.
you know what? There you go. There's the challenge right there.
Right.
Coach the coach line. Give her a
Come and
line.
give me
and
the
if she
best
likes
line
it,
you got, and I got a
Yes.
cocktail for you. Can you hold a conversation still?
Right.
Do you know how to give a woman a compliment? Give her some eye contact? Because you
Well,
know, some of
well,
us ladies
well,
is missing out
hey,
on some
hey,
good eye
hey,
contact.
coach,
Yes,
coach,
absolutely.
you know, ladies got lines too.
Well, what you gonna do? You gonna get the lady?
Ladies got lines. Ladies got lines too. They got theirs.
Oh wait,
So let's hear them. I
So-
want to hear them.
Listen, I think in part of the speed dating, maybe that's what we'll do. Some of it is like, what's your best pickup line as a lady that you think you might get a guy,
Mhm.
and vice versa. We'll do a clean one and a dirty one.
Yes.
Oh, there you
I got
go.
a good
I like
dirty
that.
one. I got a good dirty one. I ain't gonna tell y'all a lie, but I got a good dirty one that I want to say to somebody, but I need him not to take it personal.
Right.
Don't take me real serious. Don't take me real serious, but I got
It's
a
all
good one.
fun.
And I want to see if it worked. And I'm gonna give you my number. And I want you to tell me if my line works. Oh, it's gonna be a good time. But if you've enjoyed this conversation, please share. Please make sure on every other Thursday you're listening to the Dating Reset. They have great conversation. I love Wanda and Walter. Walter will be hosting. Wanda will be hosting. They will be in the building, and we are going to have a great time. And we're calling it Rhymes and Romance.
Yes.
So you guys want to be there. And the poet, we got Warrior from Poems Boston coming through, and he is a fabulous poet. He got some sexy poems too that he only reads for special occasions like this. So ladies, come on and throw your panties on up at the stage. Some of y'all gonna be leaving very moist, and it's okay.
Oh, there's that word.
Sex is actually good for your mental health.
It is.
It really is. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Again, the tickets are on sale right now for $13. And go get them tickets. Let's run it up.
Yes.
I want this place sold out. Let's make sure that line is going around the block.
Yes.
Make Coach La happy. And it's still my birthday month. So Whole Therapy is on my birthday tour. All right, y'all. Right. Any closing thoughts?
The goal of the Dating Reset podcast is to have gender neutral conversations. And we want you, the goal is to reset the mindset one conversation at a time, and to date with knowledge. We're trying to give this knowledge so that you can move and navigate through the process of dating, because dating is one of the most important steps. And you're going into a relationship.
I just like to say to the guys, I need you to step up, come to the forefront, be a part of this. Don't sit back and let the ladies do all this work. It's the only way we have a good relationship is if we both do the work. So I need you guys to show up.
And there's a lot of sexy ladies that be up in slaves. It's always dominated by the ladies. Fellas, where y'all at? I bring out all the sexy, mature ladies too, the professional ones, the ones that be securing their bag, not just their financial bag, but their mental bag. So come on through.
Yes. And if you're not following the Dating Reset podcast page, what are you waiting for? Click, like, follow. We will greatly appreciate
and share.
it.
You already know, and it's floating down the bottom. Go ahead, find the tickets on Eventbrite under Post Therapy 13, co-hosted by the Dating Reset podcast, Wanda and Walter. And of course, your favorite Around the Way therapist will be in the building. The Urban Heat will be in the building. And I am here every Sunday, 10 p.m. So make sure y'all share this. Go get those tickets. They're $13. It'll be $13 until tomorrow. Till tomorrow, technically midnight. This has been great. Thank you guys for coming. I've always enjoyed talking to y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we'll see each other in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Good night. And
Good
thank
night.
you for listening to another conversation with Coach La. Bet on self. Let's date with intention and sexiness and all that good stuff.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.